Okay, guys. Much like I hinted at yesterday, and then in that video that I had creating the enrichments, I now want to do the enrichment distribution. So that's going to be another great moment to help load or empower our clicker. So we're definitely still going to be using that. I hear a little bit of whining, so I'm going to do some little bit of ignoring and just kind of jabber jaw for a second until that stops, because we never want to inadvertently mark for bad behavior. But we have our silly little snowballs made up, the treats stuck in them. You know, just something fun, something different. You got to get creative with it when, you know, dogs are in training, because dogs love stimulation, they love enrichments, they love affection, of course, but we need to be able to mix those things up every once in a while. Dogs do like a pattern to some degree, but it's a little bit of an antiquated thought that dogs are in love with routine. They need a rigid time to go out, time to eat, time to exercise, that is a field that we, or a determination in the field that we've gone almost polar opposite of. Not entirely, but in modern science, animal behavioral science suggests that animals thrive more on variance theory. So it's not that you know, they need to have their potty times changed from 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. or noon or whatever, you know, nothing crazy. But, you know, if it's 6 on the dot today, the next day it's 6:15, it's 5:45, it's, you know, maybe 6:30. We don't want to have a huge gap, but that little bit of variance theory can help tone down our dog's overexcitability, because if we have those rigid routines, militaristic routines, what happens every day at 6 o'clock if your dog goes out every day exactly at 6 o'clock? Your dog is up, they're whining, they're pacing, they think that they can't hold it any longer, they're going to be super annoying, they're going to wake you up. And you can copy and paste that to meal time, exercise time, social time, affection time. Anything that becomes too predictable to a dog is going to be something that is too overexcitable for them. So variance theory is a slight adjustment on that rigid time routines for animals, and far better results. Your dog knows that something's happening around this time, so they still get excited for whatever it is, but they don't know exactly when it is. So one, we still stay in charge, and they still defer to us for their routine and their pattern, which gives us more value as a resource to them. But, you know, it also just, it prevents them from getting over threshold before anything even happens. You know, if the doggy school bus comes every day at 3 o'clock sharp, that dog every day at 3 o'clock sharp is going to be a nut job, and we don't need that. So making slight adjustments to their schedule is incredibly beneficial for their overall stability and you know, emotional balance. So we're just going to distribute these super straightforward, easy, but you know, make sure no one's doing anything disobedient. Whining, pawing at the crate is not going to get a click and a snowball, but anything else will. And like I said yesterday, all it takes is a couple moments of ignoring, and we're all back to laying down. Why can't I see my own hand? There it is. All back to laying down and sleeping, which is fantastic. So that is a perfect time to dish out the enrichments, because everyone's not going cuckoo whack job. So I'll grab the little snowballs here, and everybody gets one. This might be better if I back up and get an angle where we can see all three of these guys. You know, just look for the decent behavior. Pop this bad boy and throw it in there. That's it. It's very simple. Yo. What's up with man? You don't need to worry about them. You know, the little tail wag getting excited. If you hear that hitting the crate, that's fine. That's much different, obviously, than pawing at the crate. That's just excitement. So I open it up first, get ready, check the impulse control at the gate so they don't run out. I click, and then I toss it in. I don't want to hand it to them necessarily. I want them to kind of like have it and, you know, explore it, check it out, see what it is. Let them kind of work on their own. Now you hear, the reason that I waited to do Teddy's last is because he's the whiniest and he's the youngest. So he needs the most impulse control. So I want him to see and observe the other dogs get the treats and then be able to control himself before he gets his. So basically whoever I know is the most susceptible to that little bit of heightened arousal, that's who I'm going to challenge the most because they need the most work. So you hear it's just incessant, the build up. I can't control myself. I can't contain myself. These guys got treats. I mean, calm, 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 and whiny boy. And I get it, you know. Hey, those guys got stuff. What's the deal? But it doesn't matter. We can't have this little puppy frustration. We can't keep dealing with that or we're just going to create a larger and larger problem. So I'm going to let him wince and whine and whimper until he gets bored of that. And that's when we click and reward because we're what? ABC, always building calm, right? If I give into that and I start to give the little whiny puppy who I know is going to whine if everyone else gets their stuff first, if I go ahead and give into that and give him his thing first, what do you think he expects? He expects the treat first. So basically whoever I knew would struggle most with it, they need the most work with it, they need the biggest challenge, so they get the most time. There we go, stress yawns. Whining, whining. We're just going to keep talking until he gets bored. And the pressure's on because now he can see me and see the camera. But I want him to work. Good job. So that lay down, if you heard it, that got a click. He kind of gave a little harumph, which, you know, isn't to him an odd thing to reward, but we're starting to switch the brain around, right? Good job, my man. We're starting to flip the script, right? That, to him, right now, whining works. Protesting works. And he needs to learn the opposite. Doing nothing works. Relying on us works. Taking the back seat and letting us run the show works. So if you heard it when he laid down, it was whine, 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 and then he laid down and he went, like a typical naughty puppy, right? A typical fed up puppy. What is this? These guys got all this stuff. I didn't get anything. My whining didn't work. Harumph, right? You mark that harumph. You mark that relinquishing of the frustration, that giving in to our leadership flips the mind on its head. That's okay. That's a complete 180 in behavior. Now, you do that enough times, he watches the feeding sequence or the enrichment sequence, whichever it is. He waits, he waits, he waits. And how do you think he's going to manifest himself in terms of, or I should say, manifesting the enrichment, yes, but how do you think he's going to present himself attempting to get the clearest path to reward as possible? He's going to go, last time I laid down immediately and got bored, I got a thing. And all I want is the thing, whatever it is. So what am I going to try next time? Instead of wincing, whining, whimpering, I'm going to lay down and I'm going to act bored and I'm going to wait. And I'm going to wait, rely on this person who I need to start trusting more to take care of me. And then, boom, there it is. We have shortened the gap from A to B. We don't have to go through all this tumultuous guessing. We just go right to him figuring out what worked. Not us forcing it upon him. I didn't correct him. I didn't yell at him. Didn't do the pet corrector. Didn't do water. Didn't tell him shush. Didn't tell him no. What did I do? Ignore, ignore, ignore. But not only ignore, ignore, ignore. Was ready with this and ready with this and ready with these. For as soon as he changed that body language, as soon as he changed that behavior, as soon as he gave in, gave up, mark, pay, changes their entire psyche around. And for a puppy, that is imperative work. Good job, gang.